does overturning Roe v. Wade, which protects abortion rights in America, how does that impact IVF? Why would that impact IVF? A lot of people are asking these questions, but reproductive endocrinologists, IVF physicians, are really concerned about how this will impact us. It does seem like the overturn of Roe v. Wade, even though it's meant to deal with abortion and access to abortion, may have a very negative impact upon access to infertility, to IVF, to infertility treatment, fertility treatments in the United States. Even though IVF is about building families and preserving fertility and helping people to conceive and to address the disease of infertility. Why is that? It doesn't really make any sense. And a lot of people are asking this. I've been getting this question from not just patients and friends and colleagues, but also other physicians, also other OBGYN physicians. And all of us in the field, the reproductive endocrinologists, we're wondering. I'm not sure it's very clear, but there are significant concerns because of the nature of how a lot of these laws are written, the anti-abortion legislation that will automatically enact when Roe v. Wade is overturned, and a lot of other legislation that's been coming up even ahead of that Supreme Court decision. The legal premise for most anti-abortion legislation is that a fetus or an embryo before birth has rights similar to you and I. And that general principle we call personhood. So it's giving legal status of personhood to an embryo or a pregnancy or a fetus. And if you do that, then instead of being treated like a medical procedure, special tissues, the embryos that we work with in IVF can be treated very, very differently under the law. And then we will have interpretation of the legislation being possibly being applied to IVF. And the hard part is that the legislation doesn't really understand all the complexities of what we do in IVF. IVF is highly technical and very complicated and changing all the time. We're just feel like we're on a little bit of a roller coaster because there's so many cool new innovations, and it's very exciting for us because we do feel that if everybody has access to IVF, we could help everybody conceive a baby. People with infertility, and people with other challenges like cancer. So that part is really wonderful and exciting, but we've also been struggling way before this Roe v. Wade question with problems with access to reproductive medicine, access to IVF, access to fertility treatments in this country. Unlike many other countries, it's not well covered at all. Even though it's a medical condition, infertility is a disease, it's a medical condition that requires medical treatment, and that can be treated very safely and successfully with medical treatment. For some reason, insurance does not cover it. The insurance treats it like it's something elective, something not important, even though family building is such a critical part of life itself. And reproduction is so important for continuation of the human race. And now that our birth rate is declining and people are delaying childbearing for social and economic reasons, we're facing more and more infertility. It's affecting a higher and higher percentage of the population. We're seeing at millions of people being impacted by this, and millions of people really not having good insurance coverage. We're really lucky here in New Jersey. We've worked really hard, and we do have a lot of mandates in New Jersey for coverage for infertility. We have a gestational carrier law for people who can't carry. We have egg freezing for cancer patients, and we have IVF coverage for a lot of people in New Jersey. But the law still doesn't cover everybody in New Jersey, and most of the rest of the country has a lot less access than we do. And the concern about Roe v. Wade is if we make embryo status, embryos have the status of personhood, then it can make all these medical procedures, how we handle the embryos to help people get pregnant, come under the scrutiny of these laws that are meant to restrict abortion. They could potentially restrict our ability to help people have families, because most human embryos are not good enough or healthy enough to result in an actual person. Most human embryos are actually abnormal, and our job is to try to make as many embryos as we can, so we can try to find the one that's going to become your baby. And that is a challenging job. We're getting better and better at it. We're still not perfect at it. We still can't tell perfectly well. But that process of sorting through the embryos, if you consider every single embryo to have a legal status of personhood, could become really tricky. Can you freeze a person? Can you biopsy a person and test them for genetics? Embryos can't really consent. Really, only the intended parents can consent. So it does make things. We're concerned. So thank you so much for listening to this. I've been talking probably way too long. Please connect with us on IVF_IRMS and connect with me, Dr. Serena H. Chen. I'll continue to be talking about this because I think as the situation evolves, we are going to learn more and more. When laws come into play, how they are written and how they actually manifest themselves can be very, very different. And certainly having a law come between a doctor and her patient can really be tricky and sometimes a dangerous thing. So we are concerned. So thank you for listening. Hopefully we can talk more soon. Bye.